The search intensifies for a college student who vanished on spring break in the Dominican Republic.
The 20-year-old was last seen 1 week ago today, and now we are learning new details about the last person who was seen with her. ABC's Ariel Reshef has been following this one from the very beginning, and she joins us now there in Punta Cana. Ariel.
Hey there, Eva and DeMarco. The sheriff in Virginia is naming Joshua Reeby as a person of interest in this case, but local officials tell us that he has been cooperating with them from the very beginning. They don't consider him a suspect, and he is a potential witness to a possible drowning.
A sheriff in Virginia, where missing college student Sudiksha Konanki lived, now calling the last man to see the 20-year-old before she vanished a person of interest. Officials say Konanki was last seen on this surveillance video leaving her spring break resort and heading to the beach with 24-year-old Joshua Reeby. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office saying the Iowa resident is not a suspect. Dominican authorities tell ABC News Reeby gave them 3 versions of what happened that night with differing details, but they believe it was because he was too drunk to clearly remember. Konanki's family telling ABC News Reeby met them at the beach to show them what he believed happened the morning of her disappearance. He was able to recount that the two got into the water and were hit by a large wave. After that, he says he got sick on the beach and passed out. Officials say security cameras show him returning to his room shortly before 9 a.m., sunburned from sleeping on the beach.
He's a super nice kid. Josh was just so polite. And, would always say, thank you, and yes, ma'am, and please. He was a good teammate in sports, and he was part of the Boy Scout troop with my son.
Laurel Schriever is a longtime neighbor of Joshua Reeby and has known him since he was 8 years old.
When I first heard about this, my reaction was Josh would never hurt a girl. I don't know what happened, but there's no way he would have intentionally been any part of any scheme to do something to her.
Dominican police say they don't believe there was any foul play and that evidence points to Konanki drowning.
This is the beach where Sudiksha disappeared, but just down the coastline, 3 foreign tourists died from drowning in these waters back in January.
The beaches of Punta Cana, one of the biggest draws, but experts say the waters of the Atlantic side are known for their powerful and even deadly rip currents.
Just because something might not look hazardous doesn't mean that there's no risk. Rip currents can occur with relatively small waves, and they can occur during nice weather.
With us now, and Ariel, I'm curious, what are some of the challenges that investigators are dealing with as they search for her now?
Well, first and foremost, Eva, it has been a week since this young woman disappeared, so time is really of the essence here. And now officials are trying to comb through hours and hours of CCTV footage, trying to figure out who she may have interacted with, who her friends may have spoken to in the days and hours leading up to her disappearance. Now, again, as you heard there in my piece, there is no suspicion of foul play at this point, no sign of violence, and they did find her clothes on the beach. So the working theory here is that she may have tragically drowned. And just for some context here, only one of the bodies of those 3 tourists who drowned back in January were actually recovered. So officials here say that drownings really can happen, and unfortunately they don't come a lot of times with conclusive answers, but they are not ruling anything out at this point.
So Ariel, what else are police telling you about who they have questioned so far?
Well, DeMarco, we are learning that they have questioned the hotel staff where these young women were staying. They have talked to the group of friends who were traveling with that young student. They also have talked to Joshua and trying to piece together what may have led up to what they believe may have been a tragic accident. So far, there are no suspects in this case, and they have been emphatic that this is not a criminal investigation. You guys?
Just an awful story, though. Ariel Reshef, thank you so much for being with us.